what's your opinion on The Last of Us Part 2 PS5 upgrade? Let's talk about that. Okay, let's talk about it. Because at the end of last week on Friday, we talked about the leaks about a Last of Us Part 2 remaster that was coming. And then we ended the stream. And then like 20 minutes later, they just decided to officially announce it. So let's just look at it right now. They dropped a trailer and I have some mixed thoughts. Okay, I have some mixed thoughts. My knee-jerk reaction to this is I don't understand why we need this here. I still think the game looks incredible, but maybe with this trailer, our minds will be changed. So let's see what they're bringing to the table.
I don't know what happened. I was supposed to take her to the Fireflies and walk away.
Tommy!
Because of her, they were actually going to make a cure. The only catch. Sweet Jesus.
Doctor?
What are you doing in here?
It would kill her.
Even if we found her, or by some miracle found someone else that's immune, it made no difference. Because the only person who could develop a vaccine is dead.
I know all the leads have dried up, but Joel's still out there, you know?
We're gonna have to run!
Why don't you say whatever speech you got rehearsed? Get this over with.
You don't get to rush this.
New content. Lost levels. No return.
You can't stop this.
Available in January. Okay. So I tweeted out a little, or I retweeted basically, because that's how it works. I'm hip and young and swag like that. This little thing from Pio, sorry, which is an actual side-by-side or top to bottom comparison of the before and after. One of these is taken from the PS4 Pro and one of these is taken from the PS5 Remastered Edition. Now, I don't like, and they show like this is actually the before and after, like this is what it is. So I personally can't tell a difference. I can't tell it. Now, part of that could be that it's Twitter compression. It could be that, you know, in motion it looks better. But realistically, I think in cutscenes, you're not going to be able to tell much of anything. Like, I think it's going to look pretty much identical in cutscenes. Where it's going to be different is probably in gameplay. You're going to see denser vegetation. Hopefully, you're going to see higher quality textures, things like that, which I'm here for. I mean, but already, like, the game was generation leading graphically, and it was well ahead of the generation when it came out. So now, I mean, to see it remastered for the PS5, it just shows you how far ahead of its time it really was. But, you know, as far as visual upgrades, I don't think it's a reason to order it. Frankly, I just don't see it myself. One of the things that I do think is really interesting about it is that they're not just doing a visual upgrade, they're also bringing in new content, new items and things. So you get new outfits, which for some people is going to be like awesome. Other people like me, I don't care really. I see Ellie running through like this like overgrown area in Seattle with Seraphite shooting at her in a gigantic astronaut outfit. That takes me out of the game, and I get it. It's for subsequent run-throughs and stuff. Game progression required to unlock Ellie astronaut costume. In the remake of Part 1, you had to finish the entire game to be able to use the cosmetics and stuff. So I would expect it's the same thing here. This is only for subsequent runs, in which case, whatever, who cares? As for whether that justifies buying an upgrade, I don't think this does for me, but that's just me. Maybe for you it does. You know, new skins for Abby and everybody. That's cool. What really intrigues me are the lost levels, which the devs have said are basically just cut content. It was sections of the game that they had that they then cut as they got closer to launch, maybe because they couldn't polish them, or they just didn't think it helped the pacing, so they just cut it. So that's really, really cool to me. I wonder to what degree these are included though. Like, is this just a level that you walk through and then maybe some enemies are here? Or is this going to bring in new dialogue, new lore, new elements to the story? That could be really, really cool to see. And this almost by itself, to me, makes me want to try it. Because I know for a fact that there was one scene, for example, that was cut as they got closer to launch, where we actually saw in a flashback Ellie and Joel riding, the part where they're going to look for guitar strings and then they go to like the resort and everything. There was going to be a section like that where they go off and they are checking on Joel's girlfriend that lived outside of Jackson. And basically when they arrive, they see that she's been bitten and Joel stays back with her as Ellie goes outside. You hear a gunshot and then Joel comes out, and you don't know if she did it to herself to avoid turning or if Joel did it to put her out of her misery. But it's like a little moment to just show that like Joel has been trying to bond with people and he keeps getting burnt by it, which could justify why he's extra protective of Ellie even now. But that was cut as they got closer to launch. And so to see new levels like this that were in the game at one point that were cut and dropped, that gets me really excited. I'm very interested in that. This is awesome. New areas to walk through, hopefully new lore. Guitar free play, I'm nowhere near talented enough to do this, but I've seen some people do some incredible stuff with the guitar, even without the free play mode. So that's super cool to see. And then the survival mode, this just takes me back to the good old days of gaming, like 10, 15 years ago, when almost every game had little spin-off modes like this. So I love this. This is super cool to see, where it's like, you want to get used to the combat? Yeah, you can use whichever character you want and just fight waves and waves. So for me, I love it. I love it. I kind of half expected The Last of Us Part 2 or The Last of Us Factions Part 2, whatever they would have called it, to be like this. So to see that this is just included is super cool to me. Perhaps the best part of this whole thing is that they are offering a $10 upgrade path if you own it on PS4 or the PS4 version. So only $10 to get Lost Levels, a remastered version, and then a brand new survival mode. That I find much more compelling. Honestly. Like, yeah, I know some people are like, this would have been a free update on PC. Maybe for some games, sure, but for $10, I find that to be much more fair. If they were charging $70 for this, I'd be like, get out of town. But for $10 for an upgrade, like, honestly, I could see going through it. There is also a physical version. Oh, interesting. For $10, I think that's fine. And it's going to be $70 probably for new players that are going to be getting it after watching the HBO series. Again, kind of to be expected. There's nothing that insane there. So yeah, I'm not as thrown off by this. I think of all games that could have gotten a remaster, this one probably needed it the least, frankly. But to offer a $10 upgrade path, I think is the most pro-consumer way they could have done it. So I'll give them props. And, that's part of trying to be fair, is that we give props when they deserve it, and we make fun of them viciously when they make stupid mistakes. Nashman, also 4 months of membership. Oh, baby. Hey, Luke, pleasure to be here for 4 months. I won't lie. I will probably pay the tenner for The Last of Us 2. It's a great game. Gotta love another platinum. I think, honestly, for $10, it's fair. And, I mean, realistically, for the lost levels, I'll probably replay the whole thing again. So $10 for a fresh playthrough that might, I mean, honestly, cutscenes might look identical, but one thing I did see when I replayed it recently is that there was a lot of, like, the grass did not look anywhere near as good as I remember it looking. So I think if they improve that, I'm in.
He took my thing.